Hi, how are you?
Wonderful, Baruch Hashem. How's
Good.
the Yontif? How's the Yontif so far? Good.
Very good. Very
That's
good.
good.
No complaints.
Good. Good. That's good.
So you had a lot of, I heard you say you had family last night?
A big fan. They're all here. My children, my daughter, my granddaughter, her husband have 5 kids, and I have another one from Far Rockaway with 2 kids, and then I have another one that just left with a, and then I have my tonight we're going to have 22. I have my son, his family has got 4 children, and my daughter and her grandchildren, her children. I don't know. I can't keep track.
Very
I,
nice. It's
I
good.
had to
It's
get
good.
ready. Yeah. I had to get ready early, so I had to be a little hot water. I took a shower, so at least there'll be some hot water left for me. So I grabbed first a little bit. That's what happens. Yeah.
Class now. Can I call you back?
Good idea. Good idea. How is Shira?
He says, what do you say? Shira's great. She's
Yeah?
terrific. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So when are you going back to Israel?
May 11.
Oh, how are you going?
Huh? Elal.
How are you flying?
Elal
Oh,
nonstop.
wow. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's very expensive, isn't it?
I don't know what the prices are today, but when I bought it, it wasn't so expensive. The prices went up.
$6,500.
The prices went up recently quite a bit, but I bought it a while back, so the price was not so bad.
Okay.
Besides this
Okay.
ticket happens to be a mileage ticket, so this is not costing me anything except for tax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's good. Oh, yeah. Mishnah.
All right.
Mishnah.
Mem Gimel Amud Bey bottom. Arba Achin Nesuim Arba Nochim. 4 brothers married 4 different women. The Mesu, the 4 brothers died. And the Gemara will tell us, and there are other brothers besides those 4 who died. The oldest brother that remains alive can be miyabim all 4 women because they were married, each one was married to a different man. You can't be miyabim more than one wife of one brother, but these are 4 wives from 4 different brothers. Then
Is he mechuyev to be miyabim them?
He has a mitzvah to be miyabim them or give them chalitza. Yes, he's mechuyev to do one or the other.
He's in a good position. He can choose which one he likes.
Right.
Keep that one and give chalitza to the rest.
Someone was married to 2 women and he died, like Reuven and Shimon, and the 2 women fall to Shimon. And both of these women are permitted to Shimon. However, biyasa ochilasa shalachas men poteres sarasa. This is an important fundamental halacha that if he's miyabim one of the women, or he gives chalitza to one of the women, that takes care of the tzara. He doesn't have to do chalitza to both. Chalitza to one breaks the zika to all of them. Third halacha. Haisa achas k'shter v'achas psula. If the 2 women that Reuven were married to, one of those women is usher for Shimon to marry, but not to the point where it's a psula. Not if it was an erva, because then, as we know, there would be no yibum or chalitza for either. But, for example, it happens to be a woman that was a grusha from a previous marriage, and perhaps Shimon is a kohen. So there is a zika there.
How could he be a Kohen? How could he be a Kohen if his brother wasn't a Kohen?
I'm just giving you an example of a psula.
Unless his brother married. Yeah, but not, that would be, the brother wasn't,
Because Reuven and Shimon both have to be Kohanim.
right.
Let's say she was a Zona. Let's say
Oh, okay.
she was raped. Let's say while she was married to Reuven, she was raped. Now we'll see. It doesn't mean psula to Shimon.
Would she have to separate her from her then?
Hang on. We could be talking about a grusha. We're meaning Reuven married her after she was divorced from somebody. As a grusha, this woman is already psula to kahuna. That's what Rashi bevorns us. Reuven married her, one woman after she was divorced from somebody else. And then he married another woman who was not a divorcee. So one of the women is psula l'kuhuna. So therefore, when Reuven dies, Shimon is told by Bezdin, give the chlitza to the woman who's a grusha, because she's already ruined to a Kohen. Why ruin the other one?
Right.
So what do you mean? The Gemara asks if there were 4 brothers and they all die, and no other brothers, who's going to do Yibum? Means there were 10 brothers, and 4 of the brothers died. So the oldest remaining brother can marry all 4 of them. Harshus biyadu. Afraid to go more of a shavkile? What? We let this guy marry 4 women? V'hatanya. We have a variety that says v'karu lo ziknei iro, that the Bezdin, because that's what ziknei iro refers to, Ein v'lo shlucha. That the Canaan themselves have to call him, not through a shaliach. The Dibru Elav, and they have to talk to him. Melamed shemasiyin lo etza hogenes lo. And they give the potential miyabim advice. Shemhayahu yelad v'hizakena. Let's say the brother's 15 years old, and the woman that falls to him is 50 years old. Or vice versa. Who's zaken v'hi yalda? He's 70 years old, and the wife that falls is 15 years old. Oimrim lo. Malacha etzel yalda. What are you going to get married to this young girl? Malacha etzel zakena. We tell the boy, you're going to get married to this woman who's 30 years older than you? Klach etzel shekamoischa. Go with someone your own age. V'alta sim ktata b'veisach. So, and we would advise them to get, now, we got them to give them chalitza. Now, so how could we matir a person to marry 4 wives that's certainly going to be ktata b'veischa? The Gemara answers, Lo tzricha de'afsher, he's a multimillionaire, and money's not an object. He can afford it. It's not a problem. So, iyachi afilu tuva nami. So then why did you limit it to 4? So the Gemara says a good reason. It's giving us a good advice. Arba in tfeloi. A Talmid Chacham has relations with his wife once a week, Friday night. So there's 4 Friday nights to every month. This way he can provide relations to each one of his wives at least once a month. Mishaya Nasui, someone was married to 2 women. He died. And then Shimon just has to do Yibum or Chlitza to one of them and Paters the other. Afraid the Gemara, Niyabim L'Tarvayu. Why shouldn't he do Yibum to both? Amar Chebrav Amar Rav Yechon Amar Kra Asher Lo Yivne Es Beis Achiv. You build one house per brother. Ishu Beito refers to a man and his wife. So you build one bias, you don't build more than one bias. 1 second. Susie, you have to make an Eruv Tafshilin. You did already. Thank you. You made the bracha? You made the bracha? Okay. Oh, so you can only build one bias. The nachla it's l'tarvayu. Why not give chalitza to both? Amar Marzutra Bartuvi Amar Kro Beis Chalutza Nal. Bias echad uchoylitz ve'en choylitz shnei bati. Again, it's exer sarkos if you only give one chalitza and it suffices for both. Let him do yibum to one and chalitza to the other. So you know what? You can't for a technical reason. Amrakra im lo yachpos. If he doesn't want, it's totally in the desire of the brother. Hachafetz yabe, and therefore kol oil yibum, oil lechalitza. If a person's roy liyibum, the woman is roy lechalitza. Kol sheino liyibum lechalitza. I know. Thank you. Where'd you find that? Thank you. So he cannot be miyabim both. We already learned that from Asher Lo Yivnes Beisachiv Beisechad Uboyevin Boyev Shnei Batim. So if you can't do yibum to the other one, you can't give chalitza. So that's the reason for that. The Gemara gives another reason. The Od Shelo Yomru Bayis Miktsasa Boni uMiktsasa Chalutz. People shouldn't say, oh, you know, part of the house was built, part of the house was nichlatz. What's wrong with that? So that would work at least technically. That means if you gave yibum and then chalitza, technically at least it would work. But that's a problem. If first he gave chalitza and then he tried to do yibum, we have a problem because kamle below yivna, there's a lav of once you begin the process of chalitza, of rejection, then you can't marry again. So you'd be over a lav, so therefore it's a low plus. Since we don't want chalitza and yibum, we don't allow yibum and chalitza, even though technically that could work. The aim of kiyek maybe the Gemara said when there's one wife, tiskai mitzvahs yibum. Maybe a man having two wives, then the whole case. Im kain soras erva dos rachman alamali. We know that, let's say, Reuven is married to two women. One of them is Shimon's daughter. Reuven dies, and it's an erva and the tzara, both are potter. So if it's lotus kai mitzvahs even with two wives, why did the Torah ever have to aser the tzoras erva? That when you have two wives and one of them is an erva, tzoras erva boy. If you told me that when you have two wives, you can't do both chalitza and yibum, then there's certainly no shaila if there's a tzoras erva. Maybe it still would have been needed. Erva abroi kaima. Maybe since an erva, Shimon's daughter, she's like out of the picture, and we don't even consider her a wife. And then tisyabim sarasa. Maybe Shimon should just do yibum to the tzara of the erva. Kamash Blan Dasira. No. That we have this issue of there is two wives. The tzoras erva is aser. And however, ela yivimto riba. There is mitzvah yibum when multiple wives fall, but you only have to carry it out with one. Haisachas ksheira. And one was psula, like we said, one's a grusha. So give chalitza to the grusha. Shouldn't, let's say you have plenty of water and you have a water cistern. You shouldn't dump out your water cistern because other people need it. Same thing with this woman. Why ruin her? She's already ruined. Why take a ksheira and ruin her? Keep her kosher. Mishnah. Hamachzer grushaso. You divorce your wife, she marries somebody else, and then you bring her back. That's a lav. It's a lav. You're not allowed to do that. V'anoisei chalutzaso. After chalitza, he marries her. It's a lav. You're not allowed to do that. V'anoisei kroivas chalutzaso. The sister of the woman you gave chalitza to. In all those cases, yotzi. Ve'havlad mamzer. Div Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva holds that even a child from the product of chayve lavim, any marriage, even if there's only a lav, the child from that relationship is a mamzer. The Chacham don't agree with that. We don't paskin that way. We paskin that only a child from a erva of kores creates mamzeres. So the Chachamim may have vlad mamzer. However, moedim benoisei kroivas grushaso. Remember, a chalutza not being able to marry is rabbinic. Not being able to marry the sister of the woman you gave chalitza to is rabbinic. But let's say you divorced your wife and you live with her sister while your divorced wife is still alive. You slept with achos ishto, which is an erva with kores. So umoidim benoisei kroivas grushaso shavlad mamzer. In a chalav, you're not allowed to marry your wife's sister as long as she's alive. You can marry your wife's sister after her death, but not after she's alive. Of course. That means you divorce your wife. Her sister is an erva to you, als kores. Yeah.
Because it's still considered your wife.
It's considered achos ishto unless she dies. By the way, that's the only erva that is muttered after death. There's no other example of it. That means while your wife is alive, it's prohibited to live with her sister. After the death of your wife, you can live with her sister. That's the only erva that works that way. There's no other example.
Strange situation.
But grusha is the only time that would work. How well? Well, you can't marry two sisters at the same time.
They're not your wife. But after the divorce,
But she was your
she
ishta.
was.
So that's called achos grushaso.
Where's that? Like you said.
We'll find out where it is. Moedim benoisei kroivas grushaso shavlad mamzer. Rashi says grushaso ki ishto. Like if you sleep with her mother or have relations with her sister, it's considered an erva. The ima will remain an erva even after her death. Achoso is not. Freak the Gemara. Does Rabbi Akiva Vlad Mamzer? Does Rabbi Akiva hold that it's a Vlad Mamzer if you live with the sister of the Chalutza? Achas grusha medivrei Torah. Achas chlutza medivrei soifrim. So Rabbi Akiva can't say that there's a mamzer from a rabbinic law. So tani kroivas grusha. So in order to shtim Rabbi Akiva, you have to amend and say we're referring to the achois of the grusha, not of the chalutza, because Rabbi Akiva would not hold that lav would create mamzeres because it's only rabbinic. Makes logical sense. Diktani seifa, because it says in the seifa, umoidim benoisei kroivas grushaso shavlad mamzer. That's where the chachamim agree. Obviously, they're. What do you mean moidim? They must be talking about the same thing. If they're dealing with kroivas grushaso, hainu diktanu moidim. If you were thinking he was talking about achos chalutzaso, my umoidim. Period. So the Gemara thinks it's resolved that, but it's not so. Dilma hakamashmalan. Maybe it wanted to tell me another chiddush. The yesh mamzer mechayve krisos. The Mishnah wanted to tell me that the Rabbanon, in contradistinction to Rab Meir, who hold that there's mamzeres even by chayve lavin, the Chachamim wanted to warn us that there's only mamzeres from chayve krisos, like achas grushas. Freik the Gemara, Aktani look, come on. What do we need this Mishnah to give me this chiddush of the Chachamim? We've learned that somewhere else, in the famous Mishnah. Ezeo mamzer. Any relative where it says lo yavo, any lav, you get so even grusha to a kohen, it's a lav, or even having relations with a mamzeris, you're not allowed to marry her, or a mitzri, or an ammoni. All of these are chayve lavi. But Rabbi Akiva will hold that you're chayve mamzeres. Reb Shimon Temani Omer Kol Shel Chayve Love Kares B'dei Shamayim. Only kares creates mamzeres. V'alocha kedvar. So the Gemara asks, we have a Mishnah that tells me why do we need our Mishnah? Maybe the author of this Mishnah wanted to have a stam Mishnah to support Rav Shimon HaTeimani. Im kain listening shar chayve krisos. Okay, well, list all of the shar chayve krisos. Kroivas grushaso lamali. Why did it only mention the sister of the grusha or the mother of the grusha? El shmami, no, I read both. Must be that Rabbi Akiva himself was dealing with achos grushaso. No, I could learn maybe Rabbi Akiva was learning with achos chalutzaso. Va'aydi detani machzer grushaso v'nosei. Aydi detani machzer grushaso v'nosei chalutzaso ukrovas chalutzaso. Since the Tana started off by saying, you machzir your grusha, you marry a chlutza or a relative of a chlutza. So Tanami Krovis grushaso. So he added that as well. But it wants to tell me that according to Rabbi Akiva, living with the sister of the chalutza creates mamzeres. And perhaps it's because, according to Rabbi Akiva, the kroivas chalutzaso is min Torah, not min Rabbanan, not Rish Lakish. Right? Beis chalutza now, hakasuv karo beso. Right? Ishu beso means a man and his wife. And here the Torah called a chalutza base. So it's like ishto, according to Rabbi Akiva. Our Mishnah is learning that according to Rabbi Akiva, the living with the Yachos Chalutzoso is Minat Torah, and therefore it's a lav. Therefore, according to his principle that you get mamzeres from Chavi Lavin, it would be a lav, be a mamzer. Am Rav Yosef Amar Shimon Bar Rebbe, Hakol Moedim B'Mazar Gushaso. Shavlad Pogum L'Kuhuna. Somebody takes back his grusha. It's a lav. These mandorim say that if you have a daughter, it would be like a chalala. She would not be able to marry a kohen. Now that's not the halacha. We'll see what the final halacha is. Mana kol moedim Shimon HaTeimani. Reb Shimon HaTeimani says there's no mamzeris from Chayve Lavin, but need the mamzer lavi, but pogum mihavi. But to be able to marry a kohen, it's a pagam in the yichus. He learns it out. Mikal v'chomer me'almona. U'ma'almona l'kohen gadol. L'kohen gadol can't live with a widow. She'ein isur shavah b'kol, and that's not a general isur. Regular kohanim can marry a widow. Yet, the b'noah pogum, if the kohen gadol lives with the almona and they have a child, the daughter is a chalola. Zu, a machzor grushaso, she isur shavah b'kol. All Jews cannot be machzor grushaso, whether you're Kohen, Levi, Yisrael. Ein odin sheb'noah pogum. The child should not, from this kal v'chomer, that should be pogum. However, ikal mifrach, we could break the kal v'chomer. Mal almona shekeni atzma mischalelas. The difference is, a regular almona can marry a kohen. Now, if a kohen gadol lives with the almona, he is mischalel her. He ruins her. So you can't learn from that case because it's a special stringency that the almona herself gets mischalelas. The od, he to'eva ksiv, the ein bonea to'evim. There's a special pasuk there by Machzer Kroshaso that she is a to'eva. That means she becomes a chalola because she violated Allah. But the children of her are not chalola. The odd Tanya Machzer Kroshaso v'nosek chalotzoso v'nosek gros chalotzoso Rabbi Kiva Omer ein lo ba kiddushin. There's no kiddushin. Menu get. V'hi psulo vlad apostle. She's apostle, the vlad is apostle. We force a divorce. Yesh lo ba kiddushin. No, it's a chayvet lav only. So there is kiddushin. Utsriche menu get. He has to divorce her. V'hi kshera uvlad kosher. She's not a halal and the child's not a halal. Lama. Now, what are we talking about? Lav lekahuna? The Gemara says, no, kosher lekahal. Ihachi hiksher laman. I mean, who are we saying that she's kosher to? Ilay melakal pshita. Mishum dezanya apostle lekal. A zona, a Yisrael can live with a zona. Only a Kohen can. And so there's no big chiddush to say that she's kosher lekal. Elalav, we're back to saying it's kosher lekahuna. Umidihi lekahuna, vladanami lekahuna. And if she's kosher, the vlad's also kosher. Gemara says midi ir. Who says hakadi? So hakadi, each has a different halacha. She is mizana because she violated Allah. She did be with an isser, therefore creates halachic znus zona, and she's osir. But the children are not because he toeva v'lo baneto. V'chodami mistap. Diktani reisha. He psul vlad apostle. Rabbi Kiva said that the Machzor Grusha, so she's apostle and the Vlad's apostle. He psul lama. Ilem lakal. What do you mean? Mishum dezanya apostle lakal? A regular zone is not the apostle lakal, only lakaye. Ela lav lakahuna. So uvlada, when it says Vlada apostle laman, ilem lakahuna, halakal kosher, you can't say that to the kal it's kosher because I'm Rabbi Kiva Vlad Mamster. Ela pshita lakal. So you see clearly Rabbi Kiva is distinguishing between the Reish and the Seifa. The mother and the child is treated differently. Seifa nami hakadisa. Let me read you the Rambam. Hamachzer grushaso achreshin is kadsha. Aval pishaloi nivel la'achem. That means Reuven is married to a woman. Reuven divorces her. And another man gives her kiddushin. Doesn't even marry her with Nesuin. Just marries her with kiddushin. And then divorces her, or the guy dies. So he didn't even live with her. He just gave her kiddushin. He's not allowed to take her back. Hareze loke. If he lives with her, we give him malchus. And koifin oso lahotzia. We force him to, they can't stay married. Aval hi kshera viladek shem k'divrei chacham. She is not pasul l'kuhuna. She can then marry a, now she's already been divorced. So I don't know what they're talking about. He ksher l'kuhuna. Right.
Why can't he take her back? He didn't live with her. Why can't he take her? He was talking about not talking about Kohen. It's Sami Yisrael.
No,
Man, say a man divorced his wife, and somebody comes along and marries her, didn't live with her yet, and then he gives her a get.
The Torah talks about v'hayali ish acher, just havaya alone. Just kiddushin is enough to make her a married woman, and therefore he
Right.
can't.
No, I know, but why can't he take her back after he?
Because the Torah says he can't. What do
No,
you
I'm
mean
talking about
that?
this. I thought you said the second husband can't take her back. The second one.
No.
I know the first one can't take her back, but the
Reuven-
second one, okay.
The second one died. How else can Reuven marry her again?
Yeah, okay,
Or the second one divorced her.
yeah.
But what I'm saying is, how could he ksheira viladek ksherim? I
Right.
don't understand that in the Rambam. She can't be kosher. Hamachzer ksheira may be lakahal. Must be lakahal. Of course she's ksheira lakahal. Anyways, the chiddush is that the vlad is also kosher.
Because there might be havamina that the Vlad would be a mamzer, or she would be
Not a mamzer, that the vlad would be pogum lakahuna. And that was the original havamina of Amr of Shem Barabi. I call Modim Mazur Grushas, so Shavlad pogum lakahuna. We hold like the Chachamim that he toeva ve'ein baner toevim, but she remains a toeva lakohanim. She's a grusha by definition. Mazur Grushaso, he divorced her. So how could she be kosher lakahuna? She can't. So when it says kosher, must be lakal. Why would there be havamina that she's not kosher lakal? I'm talking about the woman herself. I have to look into that. Let's see. Yeshua na Rishoshim Revarshim Hikshare Afilu Achilas Truma. Tashlo Shaposlo Truma. She can still eat truma. The Rabbeinu Chanan of the Mashano Hikshare Nemer Lagabi Shar Mikrim of a grusha Shulz Rapsula Lechel B'Truma because she's a grusha. Or Rami Rottenberg. It's my kosher maybe to eat truma. Okay, so there's some nice lundas here. Now, vihi toeva nami, when it says he toeva by the Mazur Grushasa, there's another miud. He toeva vein sarasa toeva. That means the co-wife, if they fell a yubum, the grusha would be possible, but the tsar is not possible yapim. Aval banea toevim. According to that Mando Amar, the children would not be would be toevim lakuna. Yeah, but the Kavachomer we learned, right? We learned the Kavachomer El Almana Kasha. Mal Almana Shekeni Yatzma Mitzchaleles. Right? We learned the Kavachomer that he can't learn from Almana because she becomes a Chalal herself. Eli'id Marachid. Amar Yitzchak Mar Shimon Rebbe. Hakol Madim Bal Chavi Krisus Shavlad Pogum. If you have relations, Chayve Krisus, the Vlad is Pakum. Mana Kol Madim Rav Yeshua. The Alpha Gavdam Rav Yeshua Ein Mamzer B'Chayve Krisus. Rav Yeshua says you only get Mamzeris from Chayve Misa's Bezdin. Ervis that Bezdin would kill you. But Ervis where there's no Misa, just Kares, he holds there's no Mamzeris. Fine. Neither Mamzer lo havi, but Pogum miavi. They can't marry Kohanim. Mikavachomer Malmona. Malmona Kohen Gadol Shein Yisur Shavah Kol B'nah Pogum. Zu Yisur Shavah B'Kol Ein Adin Shekop Nagum. V'chi Tema Mala Almona Sheken Yatzma Mechalel Asachanami. Kivin Shabala Asa Zoina. Remember, once someone had relations with this erva, any beer be'isr makes a woman a halachic zona. So you can't. There is no break to this Kavachomer because she also is mischalelas with the beer. According to Rabbi Yeshua, the children would be puzzled. Okay, we'll stop here because we start a new sugya. Now tomorrow we're going to learn in shul 6:15. My son-in-law will come. My son will come. We'll have a nice group. If you want to come, in-laws, or come, Johnny, you'll be there, right? 6:15.
Yeah, God
Now,
willing.
Shabbos we'll learn by Zoom 9 o'clock at night.
But because 9 o'clock is when you can start already from 9 on, we can, the chometz is, we can get back the chometz. We'll see. I don't know. I may have to help in the house here a little bit. So I don't know. Okay, we'll try.
When is Yontif over?
7-11 is left pension, so say 8-11,
8:15.
8-15, something like that.
Yeah.
I think we have enough time, 45. To start learning later, it'll be exhausting. You'll take a
All right.
break from cleaning we'll clean for
see how it
45
works.
minutes. And then we'll learn.
All right. Have a
Okay.
good
Good
Yom
job,
Tov.
good job,
Shabbos.
Yontif and
good job, good job.
Make an Erev Tafshilin.
Yeah, we did already. Yeah, we did. Thank you. Thank you.